going to go live shortly, and Charlotte, if you can start pasting the questions in, that'd be great. Right, going live. Okay, welcome everyone. I think we're live now. If not, well, good luck to us. Welcome to St Catherine's College, albeit virtually. We hope that you're enjoying the open day so far. We've been having lots of sessions all morning, and I trust that lots of other colleges have been doing the same. We're joined here by our student ambassadors, who I'll ask them to introduce themselves in a second, and we're here to basically answer any questions you've got about life at university, maybe about the college in particular, if you've got any questions specific to St Catherine's College, or CATS as it's also known. And yeah, you will be able to ask questions through Slido, which is on our page of the university web pages, which the link I think should be in the comment below this YouTube stream. Yeah, so I think we'll probably get started. We've got a question about clubs and societies. What kind of clubs and societies are available in St Catherine's? No, hang on. You can introduce yourselves first. I'm jumping ahead of the gun. Right, Phoebe's at the top left of my screen, so we'll start there.
Hi, I'm Phoebe, and I've just finished my third year of a BA Physics degree, so that was my final year.
And next we've got Stuart.
Hi, I'm Stuart. I've just finished my second year of engineering degree.
And next we've got Eva.
Hi, I'm Eva, and I just finished my first year of experimental psychology.
And Ollie.
Hi, I'm Ollie, and I've just finished my second year of studying biology.
And last but not least, Maya.
Hi, I'm Maya, and I've just finished my third year of Spanish and linguistics.
Right, great. We'll get straight into it. We've got a question asking what the clubs and societies are like at CATS. So I don't know if somebody'd like to take that one.
I don't mind, yeah.
Go for it, Maya.
So there's a lot of different things you can do in most colleges, but CATS specifically, I guess, will go. So you've got kind of the obvious ones. So you've got college sport, which is really, really nice because it means anybody of any standard can play. So we have like 3 different football teams, 1 women's team, and then we've got tennis, rounders. There was even, curling at some point they tried to do. They did like a day out to a curling rink. There's also music society and CATS as well. We have an amazing music house which is available for anybody to book out during the day and use. Aside from like music and sports, we also have a lot of arts ones as well. Life drawing happens every week. What else is there? Oh, there's Pot Sock as well, which is the gardening society, aptly named, which is very, very popular at the moment. I'm trying to think of more of the niche ones. That's kind of all I can come up with, but it's also very easy to start a society in college as well. You just sign a tiny bit of paperwork and it gets approved, and so yeah, whatever interest you have, you'll be able to probably pursue it and find like-minded people.
We've got a question probably more pertinent to me than anybody in this call actually, asking about human sciences. Could you tell me about the course and the interview? So I think I'm the only person on this call who actually, I studied human sciences for my undergraduate degree, and I can tell it's a fantastic course, and yeah, really, really great. Very small course, but very good, friendly atmosphere, and it's really well taught. There's a typed Q&A somewhere on their department page, if you look on the homepage, where they have really friendly staff that can answer your questions specifically about human sciences. And also the interview, yeah, it's very friendly, and generally I think we'll move on to interviews generally later in the Q&A as well. But I won't take up too much time for human sciences because I could talk about it all day, but I'll avoid just for now. We've got a question asking how students meet other students from outside their college. So I guess COVID has kind of scuppered a bit of that, but if we could talk about it pre-COVID, like normal times, then that would be great, if anybody would like to take that.
Yeah, I can talk about that for a little bit. So I think one of the best ways to meet students from outside your college is on your course. So of course, depending on the subject you take, you'll probably have lectures which are university wide. So you'll go and you'll be able to meet students doing your subject, and then there's immediately something you can talk about. And I think the other main way is by uni-wide societies. So Maya was just talking a little about the societies we have at CATS, but also there are university-wide societies for sport, music, drama, and all sorts of weird and wonderful things. And alongside that, there's a lot of different community groups for different faiths, for example, and different identity groups. So their socials and different events they put on are really good opportunities to meet like-minded people from different colleges. And I think as well in normal times as well, if it's something you're interested in, there's a bit of a nightlife scene at Oxford, so that's somewhere else you can meet people. So yeah, I think that those kind of events and even to do with your subject or beyond your subject are really good chances to meet other people from the uni-wide.
Great, thanks Ollie. We've got another question asking how exams are structured for science students. So if one of our STEM, I think we've got a pretty heavy distribution of STEM on this call, so if one of you guys would like to take that, please.
Well, I can only really speak for engineering, but I think it depends very much on the subject. For us, I mean, we have exams at the end of every year, basically, but they each count for a different amount of the final degree classification. For us, the first year was basically a progress check, so they could check that you had enough knowledge to move on to the second year, and then the second and third year count towards the bachelor's part of the degree, and then the fourth year counts towards the master's part of the degree. But I'm not sure about the other sciences, to be honest.
Would either Ollie or Eva like to take it from a more life sciences perspective?
Yeah, I could talk a little bit about biology. So we have a lot of our examinations spread across our course. So in first year, we do similar to what Stuart was talking about. We have a first year exams called prelims, and they just sort of check your knowledge from first year, but they don't count towards your degree. And then our exams are actually at the start of the summer term, which we call Trinity term here at Oxford, in second year and third year. And we also have a couple of other courseworky bits in between, which is quite nice that it's spread out, because it means if you have a particularly bad week or a bad month or so, it's only a small fraction of your degree that's affected. So that's something quite nice about biology.
We've had a question about the accommodation at CATS, and Stuart and I think also Eva are in CATS rooms at the moment, am I right? So Eva, would you like to talk about your room in first year, and then Stuart can talk about the second year accommodation? That's worked out quite nicely.
Yeah, so first years are in Old Quad, which is kind of like the main part of the college, and I would say there are about 10 rooms on each staircase on each floor, and the rooms are either box rooms or sink rooms. So I have a sink room, and there's just like a sink and a bed, and you share a kitchenette, a very struggle kitchenette, but it still is a kitchenette, and 2 bathrooms and 3 showers with 10 people.
And then I've strategically hidden most of my room because it's quite messy. But from here upwards, you can see, get a sort of vibe of it. So there's sort of shelves, and there's a bed over there. It's a little bit bigger than the first year rooms. The second year rooms generally are much nicer than the first year rooms. And then there's also an ensuite bathroom, which you probably can't see behind me, but just next to the door there's an ensuite bathroom and a shower and everything, and big wardrobes and stuff. And the kitchens are nicer. Again, there's about 8 to 10. I think it's between 4 and 8 actually in the second year floors, on the floors, but on the staircase again, there's probably about 20 or 30 people.
We've also got a question. It's a very general question, and it's I think I'm going to have a short answer from each of you. What do you like most about cats? Who's going to take this one?
The people. That's my short answer.
Right, going around the screen. Ollie.
The chill vibes.
Eva.
Like how big it is, how many people there are.
Stuart.
Yeah, again, the people, and we've got the best bar as well, which also helps.
And Phoebe.
The food. Yes, it's very good food. I have no complaints.
That's a very good sweep of answers. Thank you, everyone. I've got a question asking, how easy did you find it to fit in and make friends when you came from school to university?
I can do a pre-COVID kind of thing about this maybe. I found it incredibly easy. I think the good thing about the college system at Oxford is that there's like such a large amount of people within a small space for you to get to know. And also CATS is the largest undergraduate college as well. So you'll always find people that you do get on with. And the staircases in first year are really social in terms of like being kind of the plan of it. In second year, they're a little bit more like closed off, but it's really easy to make friends in first year, and they have a lot of good socials and everything. And they have ones for people that drink, ones for people that don't. They arrange trips to like ice cream places, like Freshers Week in particular is very well planned out. Yeah, I think CATS does a really good job in that first term, especially of making people integrate in lots of different ways possible.
Great, thank you very much. The next three questions are pretty linked, so I'm going to ask them together. How does the catering work, what the food is like, and how easy is it to get halal food? Now, I know Phoebe said that she liked the food, so I'm going to direct this question to you, Phoebe.
Yeah, of course. So the way that catering works at CATS is we have an informal like cafeteria style dinner, which colloquially in the college we call SCAF, and that's breakfast, lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday, and then a lunch on a Sunday. Obviously that has changed because of COVID, but in non-COVID times that would be what happens. There is also on, I believe, weekday evenings a formal hall. So that's a 3-course served meal rather than you get it from the cafeteria. That's very nice. Increasingly, after my first year as well, the vegetarian options of that really expanded. So that, for my case, that I really enjoyed that. It really is quite affordable for the most part. I mean, it probably does work out a little bit cheaper if you want to cook your own food, but it's definitely very affordable to get food from the college. And because CATS has kitchenettes in all of the accommodation, you very much do have the option to cook as well. And a lot of people will find a balance between the two, and they may end up cooking quite a lot of the time, but they might arrange to go to a formal hall with friends. There are also some more fancy dinners, like every now and again. I think we normally have around one a term or thereabouts. So we've got Cat's Night, which celebrates, I believe, the birthdays of Catherine. And then we have Guest Night as well, which is kind of a more formal dinner, like black tie dinner, where you can bring a guest. So those would be more expensive, but yeah, those happen. And the food is very good. There is a diverse array of options. I know they are pretty good about catering for different dietary requirements and allergies as well. And in particular, in the formal hall as well, they have a system where you pick up any kind of card for any various requirements that you have, so that they know what it is that they need to serve you. And because of the formal hall as well, you book that in advance. They make sure that they've got the right food prepared. But there is also a variety of options available at the cafeteria style dinner as well.
I was muted. Right. The next question is, did you get homesick when you arrived? I don't know if anybody'd like to take it who did or didn't get homesick. No, because I guess everybody has a different experience of this. So who'd like to be brave and volunteer themselves?
Yeah, so I'd say that I did a little bit. I think that it's quite a lot of change when you come somewhere new, and there's quite a lot of people, and it takes some time to adjust. And I think that the thing which made it difficult for me was that when I moved in, I didn't really unpack and sort of sort my room out, and then I was just like, I need to meet people, I need to see different things, but actually then when I had time to sort of get some home comfort, set aside some time to call home, and I actually found that that sort of homesickness went away. But of course, for some people, they find it a little harder, and they miss home quite a bit. And they might handle that by, if it's possible, being able to go home at some point in term and come back. Or they might call parents or friends and family quite a lot. Or it might take some other support. So we have a really good welfare system here at CATS, and they're really used to talking to people about homesickness. It's quite a common thing at university, especially at the start. So there's other support available to help manage those feelings.
On that, Ollie, could you talk a bit more about the welfare provision that the college has set out?
Yeah, definitely. So there's quite an array of people in college who are here to support you, and these are vary right from students to staff. So some of the people that you can go to are welfare reps and peer supporters. So these are other students which receive training from the uni counselling service, and they're there basically as an active listening service to help talk to you confidentially about whatever might be going on, and also to redirect you to professional help if they think that you might benefit from that, and to discuss those options with you. Someone else sort of a little higher up in the hierarchy, if you like, are the junior deans. So these are typically graduate students which are based in college, and they're there both as first responders to any welfare issues, or equally to talk to you about any issues, big or small, whether it's stress or something like homesickness, or financial issues, or maybe a serious mental health condition. And then beyond the junior deans, we also have a professional counsellor who's associated with college, who you can book an appointment with, and as well as that, college nurse and college doctors who you can contact and talk to you about your physical and mental health. So quite a lot of different people within college, and then that's not to mention as well the uni-wide counselling service, disability advisory service, and other uni-wide services there to support you. So there are a lot of people here that are trained to help you, and they've often seen a wide array of people's welfare issues. Lots of people there to help.
That's great, thanks for that, Ollie. We've had a question asking if there's an Oxford type. I think the answer is resoundingly no, but if anybody'd like to explore that a bit further, then go for it. Maybe like expectations you had and how they were kind of hopefully busted when you got here, if anybody's got any.
I'd say there's definitely not an Oxford type. You do come in thinking everyone's going to be like really smart and maybe all from private schools. But when you get here, you do realise that everyone's different. And even if they were private schooled, that doesn't change how normal they are. I'd recommend checking the Humans of Cats page, because it does show you the range of different types of people that there are in college.
Great, thank you very much. Is it possible to take playing sport seriously while at Oxford? COVID aside, would somebody like to have a go at this question if we've got any particularly sporty types?
I can butt in here. Yes, it definitely is. There's some really top sports players at Oxford. Very, very good. Like the whole blue setup through the uni is incredible quality. Like I consider myself a decent badminton player, and I could barely get onto the third team of the Oxford setup. So it's a serious sporting uni as well. I know that in the Bucks Championships they always do quite well. At least for badminton, they always do quite well. That's my main sport, so that's the one I know. But I know here at Cats we've got some hockey blues. The blues is sort of slang for first team, but sometimes there's requirements past that for blues. But we've got some of the rowers are in the blues boat. Some of the hockey players are in the blues team. We've got a few seconds and thirds of the football team, and I think one of the freshies in the blues football team as well. So yeah, you can definitely take sports very, very seriously here at Oxford.
Thanks, that's great. We've got a question. Oh, I've now lost it. Where's it gone? How do you balance your work life and social life? Who have we not had for a while? Maya's not said much. I'm going to pick on Maya.
I'm a bit rusty on this at the moment because I've just taken a year out of my year abroad. So, but I've been trying to get back into studying in the past few weeks after that break. From what I remember in first year and second year, for me personally, I always kind of put my well-being first, and I kind of and I know that can be quite hard to do, especially coming to Oxford and you have this. I mean, it's not a concept, it is, but like a very academic place. But I think it's, as long as you can try and remember that academia shouldn't come at the cost of your well-being. And so for me, I would have a rule with myself that I wouldn't ever, very rarely work past 4 p.m. every day. Like for me, I know that I work better in the morning, so I would get up early, I'd go to the libraries, like make a day out of it, and then past 4 p.m. the day is mine. So I'd either go shopping or I'd meet up with some friends or we'd go out in the evening. I think it's also worth pointing out that the good thing about Oxford and the college system is that you have a close connection with your tutor because there's such a small group of you. So if you ever are, and at first I remember my first week at Oxford and I got my lectures and I was like, how am I ever going to make all of these and do my work? And eventually you do learn how to juggle everything. But my point being that I went away from, you can speak to your tutor saying, look, I'm having a little bit of a difficult time this week, like balancing this commitment and my work. And most of the time, I've been very lucky in my experience, my tutors will be like, okay, that's all right, I can give you an extra day's extension, or how about instead of a whole essay you bring a plan to your lesson. So I think my go-to tip is that you can balance like your work life and the rest of your life, and really do, like, if you do come to Oxford, put your well-being first in front of everything, and make sure you've got your good support system around. It's definitely possible for it to all work out.
Great, thanks. Right, what's the next question? What kind of social events do you have in college? I think if we address this as a non-COVID related question and what would normally be, if we could have somebody talk about stuff we did before COVID, like ENTSs and that type of thing, and then maybe Phoebe could talk about alternative events as well, I think, because Phoebe ran alternative events, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Maya looks very eager to answer this question.
So keen. So most Oxford colleges have these events. They're either called BOPs or ENTSs. At CATS we call them ENTSs, but they're the same thing, and essentially what they are is a big college party per se, which is held in our bar, JCR and games room, which is all connected. It's very, like, we tend to dress up and have different themes. So we had naughties, or come as what you want to be when you grow up. They're held about every 2 weeks, which is more than most other Oxford colleges have. We've also in the past year, pre-COVID, we also started up alternative ENTs as well. So for people who aren't so much into like loud music, maybe drinking and dancing, there's another kind of social going on at the same time, held in a different place, where there's food, board games like I think Mario Kart and like games like that. They cater to everyone. As I think Phoebe said earlier, like there are formal dinners as well, like once a term, big formals where people can invite friends from home. So that's really good. And then there's always like an event going on or something. Like different societies will hold like socials as well and that sort of thing. Yeah, there's also a ball coming up as well soon, and that happens once every 3 years, and that's quite exciting. But yeah, there we go. If anyone else wants to remember anything pre-COVID, specifically to do with college, I can't quite think off the top of my head. Oh, Munch as well, which is a welfare thing that happens every Sunday, run by the Welfarettes, and it's just a really lovely event, and they've done a great job keeping it up during COVID, where basically I think it's about 2 hours, and they have like tea, coffee, like lots of food going on. It's and like activities like arts and crafts, and everyone tends to come down on a Sunday, watch a bit of TV, meet up with people, and like in a really relaxed manner, just kind of, socialise, especially if you've been a bit, busy that week. So that's really nice. That always happens every.
Phoebe, would you like to cover alternative events? Excuse me, alternative events and other stuff going on?
I think Maya covered it quite comprehensively. Basically, I was responsible in my role as disabilities rep there's now a new rep on the JCR committee, which is kind of like the college's version of student council for organising this. But basically, and alcohol-free and also like reduced noise-free environment events, because a lot of people enjoy that, but there are a lot of people, sometimes for disability reasons, sometimes people don't drink for religious reasons as well, and there are aspects that can make some students feel excluded from like ENTSs. So I set up alternative ENTSs, which essentially much reduced noise, there's no alcohol, there are like snacks and like soft drinks and stuff as well, and there's board games, and normally one of the people going has a Nintendo Switch, so they will bring that into the room and set that up, and it's normally much smaller, less intimidating for students who kind of want to do that, and that's now as a regular thing as well, so those should be running in Freshers Week as well.
Great, thanks. The next two questions are kind of related. Is accommodation and food expensive, and how is it allocated? Food we've kind of covered. If somebody'd like to cover how accommodation is kind of paid for and how it's allocated going through the years, that'd be great.
I can cover that a little bit. So I think the accommodation is paid for by, they charge it to your battles account, which is like your college, the debt that you might have with the college. So basically, for me, it's just been my room, but sometimes at other costs they can incur, you can put them on there. And I seem to remember it was about £1,400 or £1,500 a term for the rooms. Don't quote me on that though, because they might change the prices. But it's unlikely
it's about that, I
much
think.
different than that. And the way it's allocated is, as a first year, you'll be in a random room in the old quad. Some of the staircases are dedicated to only freshers. Some staircases are shared between freshers and third years. Not usually second years are basically all in new quad, because once you hit second year, you can ballot. You write down the names of four or five people. I think it's 4 people you want to ballot with, and then you apply, and then to ballot with them, and then you get assigned like a number in a raffle. Basically, they did change it a little bit at some point, so you can have a priority ballot if you have like some issue with what room you'd need. So say you had a disability and you needed to be nearer to, I don't know the specifics basically, but yeah, you need to, if you get priority registration, you get a priority. But apart from that, it's basically random, and then according to your number in the list, you get to choose your rooms for the next year with year 4.
Great. So the next question is, what is a typical weekly timetable for a student at CATS? I'm going to ask Maya, and I'm going to ask Ollie for a 1 STEM and 1 non-STEM. So quick fire, what's a regular week look like? Again, proviso, let's go pre-COVID when everything was normal.
I'll preface this by saying not that my degree is a little bit more, I think, than most humanities, just because it's two subjects, but it's still probably less than most STEM students because of labs and everything. But yeah, so this is probably a little bit heftier than your average humanities student. But in first year, I had 6 hours of lectures per week, spread out across the week, and then I would have had probably equal amount of that in terms of contact hours. So that would be like classes, like face-to-face classes or tutorials, which is where you go over the work that you've done the week before with your tutor. Yeah, which, to be fair, probably to the STEM students sounds very, very little anyway. So I'd say probably at peak, at my most busy times, during first and second year, I would have had 15 kind of contact hours, including lectures. And then the rest of the time that week, I would kind of spend, you know, doing like independent study and going to the library and that sort of thing. But even with all of that, there was still time for me to do like college sports and college clubs and stuff.
Yeah, and so yeah, I studied biology, which is quite a light workload, I think, for a STEM STEM subject. We end up having about 17 contact hours in first year, but then it depends how many modules you take on in subsequent years as to what your timetable looks like. Typically in first year, we had 8 hours of lectures spread across the weekdays, 2 labs a week, which will reach a maximum of 3 hours. And then we had a computer class and something called a synthesis session, which is like an open discussion about a particular topic. And then typically it's 1 tutorial a week, and the preparation for that would be an essay typically. But some subjects have more or less tutorials, more or less lectures. So yeah, and as well, like how you divide your time up in terms of studying, revision, dedicating time to the tutorial is a very subjective thing. There's no set requirement for that. There's sort of recommendations. And of course it does sort of vary week on week. And that sort of flexibility, I think, is quite a common theme with a lot of degrees. Some are more rigid, but yeah, a lot of it is managing your time in a way that works for you, which you'll get more used to as time goes on.
Right, so the next 2 questions I'm going to put together. How confident were you after your interview you were going to be granted an offer, and what was your interview like? Now, obviously, proviso, don't give away all of our secrets. Not that it's very transparent, I've got to say. Everything is very transparent. But if anybody's got any pearls of wisdom they'd like to share, and whether or not after your interview you felt like you were going to get an offer, then go for it. Who'd like to go first?
I can go. So I had 4 interviews. 2 were at CATS and 2 were at another college. And I'd say I had no idea if I was going to get in or not, because my 2 at CATS were really nice, and then the other 2 were a lot more daunting, and I thought I did terribly in them. But I'd say I kind of forgot about it during the wait, and so it was a surprise on decisions day. So I think you're usually not a good judge of how well you do in interviews, so you shouldn't dwell on it too much after the interview finishes.
I was just going to jump in and say that a lot of the time, I think with those sort of things, you're concerned about, oh, is it right or wrong? Is it right or wrong? Like whether it's humanities or STEM in the interview, but actually a lot of the interview is about like the tutor seeing like your thought pattern and how you think. So speak out loud, and if you get things wrong, that's absolutely fine. I got 2 things wrong in my interview, which the tutor at the time were very happy to tell me that I did, and be like, but now that you know that's wrong, what else do you think the answer could be, and kind of directed me different ways. So I'd say, yeah, it's a lot more, I know Stefan said that it's like actually quite transparent. It's a lot more relaxed than the media sometimes tries to put it out to be. It really is just about seeing like, how do you think? And also because this tutor that's interviewing is most likely the person that's going to teach you, they also just want to see if they can get along with you and if they'd be happy to spend 3-4 years in your company. So I think remember that as well.
I think that's quite a nice note to bring the discussion to a close. I'm aware we've just run over time. Hopefully those listening has found this session to be really useful, and thank you to all of our student ambassadors who've so kindly taken time out of their day to help out. I know that Ollie's probably on a walk by the looks of it, and everybody else are in their rooms. But thank you very much, everyone. I will finish the stream now. And if anybody's got any questions they'd like to ask that they felt haven't been asked, that they didn't want to ask today, then they can just drop us an email. I will be very happy to answer. Thanks everyone, goodbye.